Guys, so today's video is part 3 of Love You Latte by Lord Voldemort. So this is chapters 5 and 6. So let's get on to the video. Chapter 5. Kirishima's point of view. Once we finished our drinks, Mina has another one of her amazing ideas. Kirishima, ask him when he gets off work, she says. What? Already confused. I said, ask him when he gets off work. She restates, well, why? I asked, still confused. We're going to the movies later. Me, Ciro, and Denki talked about it while you two were talking. We think you should invite him. I feel myself turn red. Wait, but you guys said he was kind of rude to you guys. I say, still confused. Why would you want to hang out with him? Kirishima, he's a little bit rude to us, but he's good to you from what I can tell. We can deal with it because it's obviously you like him, so go get your man, she says, pushing me toward the counter with a wink. I stumble toward the counter, looking back at Mina. She gives me a thumbs up before joining Ciro and Denki at the door. I stand behind the people currently ordering. When they finish, I go sit down. I step up to the counter. How's it going? I ask with a smile. What do you want, shitty hair? He says, crossing his arms. But he has a small smile already on his face. I was wondering when a certain blonde gets off work. When I finish, I see a dusting of pink on his cheeks. I get off at 1. Why? He says, raising an eyebrow. We were wondering if you wanted to see a movie with us later. I say, and I honestly hope he says yes. We? He asks as I motion to the door, where Mina, Ciro, and Denki are already standing. Yeah, we're going to go see a movie if you want to come. And wanted to see if you would come. I say with a smile. He softens. Really? Well, yeah, I say, my ears and face heating up. Well, we're gonna go out to eat and then see a movie, so how about you join us for both? I smile. It'll be later tonight, so how about we meet up here at, say, 7? Sounds like a plan, he says, leaning forward on the counter. Great, I say with an ear-to-ear smile. I walk back to the door. How'd it go? Mina says as we walk out the door. I give her a smile and say, we're meeting him here at 7. She stopped in her tracks. Wait, really? Yeah, I say with a shy smile, and I'm sure some blush. She gives me a high five. Good job, lover boy. Bakugo's point of view. After Kirishima walked out with his friends, I saw the pink one giving a blushing Kirishima a high five. I laughed a little to myself. They all wanted me to come, huh? After my shift ended, I still had 6 hours until I meet Kirishima and his friends outside the coffee shop. That's when I realized I didn't ask where we were eating or what the movie was. Hell, I don't know any of his friends' names. I just blindly agreed because it's Kirishima. God, they could try to kidnap me if they wanted. I wouldn't let them, but they could try. These are my thoughts as I walk home, listening to Rich Girl by Hall & Oates and other similar songs. I walk in the door and immediately tell the old hag, I'm going out with some friends tonight. Don't wait up for me. And continued to my room. Friends? She asks, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, you heard me, I said flatly. Oh, you finally made some friends, huh? She says with a teasing tone. Shut up, old hag, I say, trying to hide my small smile. That's followed up by a smack on the back of the head as usual. Don't talk to your mother like that. Now run along. She goes back to watching TV. Is all she gets before I head upstairs to my room. I agree, don't talk to your mother like that. I drop my bag by the door and just faceplant on my bed. I start thinking about what I need to do to get ready for tonight. I'm assuming it's just a chill hangout, but I still want to look decent. I need a shower after working all day. I need to allow half an hour to walk to the coffee shop. I finally decide to get off my lazy ass and do something, but then I realize I still have like 5 hours until we meet up. I have about 2 hours to kill until I should start getting ready. I picked a movie and not pay attention. And not to play and not pay attention while I scroll through my phone. Small time skip, 2 hours. I turn off the TV and let my phone fall onto my bed, pushing myself up and grabbing a towel on the way to the shower, turning on the water as hot as I can stand it, just the way I like it. After a quick shower, just to make sure I don't smell like shit. Wait, my brain's being weird. Hang on. I have to pick out an outfit. I walk to my room, towel around my waist. After a while of trying to decide on something that's casual, but still looks okay, I decide on my favorite skull shirt. A sweatshirt that says "Boom" on it in big orange letters, a thick band choker, some high tops, and some black ripped jeans. The jeans are a lot like Kirishima's, but a lot more ripped, as if I were a competition. After making sure my hair is as spiky as ever, I pick up a couple of my favorite silver rings. I did a pat down to make sure I had everything, and by everything, I mean just my phone, wallet, and keys. With a quick bye from the hag, I'm off to the coffee shop with about 5 minutes earlier than expected. Those 5 minutes didn't make any difference, though, because when I showed up, they were already waiting. I'm early. Why are you guys already here? I ask the whole group, allowing anyone to answer. The pink one says, yeah, Kirishima just couldn't wait, teasingly elbowing Kirishima. He immediately turns bright red. What? We were just running early, he says, attempting to return to his natural color. Oh, I guess I should introduce you to everyone, he says, motioning to his friends. I nod and step forward, joining them. Kirishima points to the outgoing pink girl. This is Mina. I nod and try to put on a small smile. We've heard all about you, she says without skipping a beat. Mina! Kirishima practically shrieks, making me laugh. The whole group looks at me. What? I ask irritably. I didn't expect you to laugh, the Pikachu-looking dude speaking for all of said the Pikachu-looking dude speaking for all of them. They all nodded, well, all except Kirishima. He didn't think anything of it. I'm a human. I laugh. So what? I say. Kirishima intersects this weird conversation by introducing the next in line. He points to the Pikachu dude. This is Denki. He just smiles and does a two-fingered salute. Okay, I say after Pikachu's weird salute. Finally, he points to the weird elbow dude. And this is Zero. He just smiled and silently waved at me. See, he gets it. And I'm sure you all know who I am by now, I say, and look at Kirishima. He just nervously laughs. After introductions, we started to walk to where we're eating, which turned out to be a Waffle House. Pinky was leading the way, followed by Pikachu and Elbows, walking side by side. Then me and Kirishima also walking side by side. In front of me were Pikachu and Elbows and I see they're holding hands. I tap Kirishima's shoulder and lean close to his ear. They a thing? I say, motioning to the couple in front of us. I see him become tense. Oh yeah, he says, then thinks for a second. Are you not cool with that? Where the hell did he get that idea from? No, that's not it. I was just wondering. I state, backing away from Kirishima's ear, back to my normal walking stance. As we were walking, our hands brush against each other a couple of times. Each time I look away so Kirishima can't see the bit of blush dusting my face. Why does this red crayon make me melt like he does? Red crayon. When we get to the Waffle House, I held the door for Kirishima, like a gentleman, earning a sly grin from Pinky. We sat along the counter instead of in a booth. I was at the very end next to Kirishima, Pinky in the middle, then Sparky and his boyfriend. I start looking over the menu when Kirishima turns to me with a big smile. Want to split some hash browns? Sure, I say, still looking down as if it were nothing, but I'd steal glances at him every now and again when he wasn't looking. After a few minutes of browsing the menu, an old hag comes over and takes our orders. What'll it be? She says with a broad, ingenuine smile. Me and Kirishima both got a waffle and biscuit, then we split some hash browns. When Kirishima said, oh, and a hash brown to split, she looked up at us. Aw, aren't you two a cute couple? I had instantly become red, and so had Kirishima. Pinky wasted no time interjecting. They are, aren't they? And grinned at our blushing faces. Shut up, you glorified pink puffball, I say harshly. She just gives out a small, kind of nervous laugh. I still don't know what movie I've been dragged to see. I say, my elbow on the counter, resting my head in my hands. Elbows leans further on the counter to look at me. What do you mean, dragged to see? You agreed to come, he said, confused. I think it's his way of excusing wanting to come in the first place. Pinky points out, what? No. I start, but then I'm cut off by Kirishima. We're seeing a scary movie. It's called Hush, he says, making a small explosion motion with his hands as he says the word hush. I've heard of that. Oh, I've heard of that. It sounds good. I'm surprised we're seeing a scary movie, but at least it's something I'm interested in. Doesn't it? It's gonna be great, said Kirishima, excitedly punching the air. This earns a smile and a chuckle from me. Are you sure you're man enough for a scary movie? I tease. Of course I am. Oh, yeah, because last time we saw a scary movie, you didn't sleep for 3 days, said Pinky, poking Kirishima's cheek. He turned red. Shut up, Mina. I'm a manly man, he flexes. When he flexes, I'm slightly shocked. He's so toned. I could see that now because he'd taken off his sweatshirt and tied it around his waist. When our food finally... That's when our food decides to show up. Fucking finally. I breathe out and dig in. That earns a small, adorable laugh from Kirishima. Adorable. Really? I use that word now? Why does he just dissolve my harsh outer shell? Time skip after they finish their food. Walking out of the Waffle House, this time Kirishima held the door for me. Sure, I did the same thing, but he jumped up so fast to get to the door first that he would have knocked over his stool if it wasn't bolted to the floor. This made Sparky and his boyfriend crack up once we were outside. Kirishima didn't seem to notice or care about them making fun of him. He was blushing like a madman as I walked through the door with a small thanks. The rest of the group didn't wait for us for some reason. Not that I cared. I can't stand the rest of those extras. Kirishima jogged up to my side. So, he started, looking down, focusing on his hands. Have you at least had fun so far? He looks up with a hopeful smile and a pink tint settling on his cheeks. I feel pink replace my own pale features. Shoving my hands in my pockets and mirroring how Kirishima was looking at the ground earlier. I look at the ground, trying to hide my own blushing face. Yeah, it's been fun. He looks at me, almost shocked. Really? I thought you'd say something like, no, you dense faces are the worst, and Naruto run away? Is that actually how you pronounce it? He says, doing a bad impression of me with a laugh. That makes me think, am I really that bad? He didn't have to ask the other fuckheads if they had fun because he knows. They actually smile and laugh so he can tell. I don't do that shit. Apparently I had stopped walking because Kirishima, as a couple steps in front of me, stopped as well. What's wrong, bro? He asked worriedly. I look up at him. Am I really that rough around the edges? I ask, honestly not sure I want to hear what comes next. Kirishima looks at a loss for words, but not for long. He walks those couple of steps towards me. Dude, I was joking. I'm sorry. I didn't think you would take it serious. He stops when he notices me staring at our joined hands. His face goes pale as he realizes what I'm staring at. So sorry. I didn't realize I was trying to comfort you, he says with an awkward smile, disconnecting our hands and rubbing the nape of his neck. I take a step forward, closing the distance again, and to grab his hand, but I kept walking, so I was dragging him along behind me a few seconds before he registered what was happening. Thanks, I mutter out once he starts walking next to me. I feel his grip tighten as both say, you're welcome, and this is cool, talking about them holding hands. I didn't mean to spring that on you, I say quietly, referring to the question I asked earlier. Oh, it's fine. I should have thought before I spoke, he says with a big, dumb smile. The rest of the walk, we talk about the movies. The rest of the walk to the movies was filled with useless small talk. He was the main one talking. But with him, I didn't want to yell, shut up, nerd. So that's new and kind of nice. Once we arrive at the movies, we The rest of the nitwits were waiting for us. Where in the world have you guys been? The penguin cried as she saw us walking up. Walking and talking, Kirishima replied once he got closer. Chapter 6. This has spoilers to the movie Hush and the main girl in Hush's death. Kirishima's point of view. When Mina saw us approaching, she yelled out to us, "Where in the world have you guys been?" We walked over to the group. "Just walking and talked," I said, answering Mina's question. Denki was leaning against the wall of the movie theater, with Sierra diagonal in front of him, and Mina was in front of us. "Well, good thing the movie doesn't start for another 20 minutes, she says, looking at her phone. That's when the inevitable happened. "What's with that?" Denki asked, motioning to me and Bakugo's intertwined hands. I begin when Bakugo says, "I made a move. If you had some balls, maybe you could too." Then turns back to me. "I'll be back." Then he releases my hand and walks off towards the bathroom. Mina can't control her fangirlness anymore, so once Bakugo disappeared into the building, she burst. "OMG Kiri!" She practically screams, Denki still grumbling to Sierra about Bakugo's "if you had some balls" comment, but then tunes in on Mina once she starts her interrogation. "So, what was his move?" I suddenly became flustered again. Well, I made a joke about I being salty and angry, and he asked if he was really that rough around the edges, and in an attempt to reassure him, I grabbed his hand without realizing it, and I started to freak out when I saw it. I had grabbed his hand, then he grabbed my hand again, so it was kind of a power move. I say the last part softly. Mina elbows me. "OMG Kirishima, get you that man." I smile widely. "Oh, so I guess you guys decided he's good enough for me," I say, talking about before we even got to the coffee shop. "Actually, kinda," Sierra says. "Wait, really?" "Yeah, since you guys are taking so long, we were talking it through. You guys would make a good couple." I would say I was shocked, but these are my friends we're talking about. So now, and what's the verdict? I ask. Mina speaks for the whole group. "He's a grumpy hothead, but I think he would protect you, so we think he's a match," she says with a bright smile. Of course, that makes me blush. We pay for our tickets, I pay for Bakugo's, and we enter the theater. "I'm gonna wait by the bathroom. You guys go ahead," I say, walking backward and pointing toward the bathroom. Sierra, the only one paying attention to what I said, nods and gives me a thumbs up. I stand outside the bathroom, one foot leaning against the wall behind me. Bakugo comes out and starts heading towards the door. I guess he thinks we're still outside. I walk up behind him and quietly spring into action. I grab his waist and turn around gently. He makes a small squeak before he realizes it's just me. Blushing and covering his mouth with his hands, he looks at me with his signature scowl. "What the hell, shitty hair? Sorry, bro, I needed to get your attention," I say with a smile. "Could've just called my name, dumbass." He furrows his brows a bit. Then I realize how close we truly are, and I still have my hands on his waist. His waist is so small. "So sorry," I stutter out, removing my hands from his waist and rubbing the nape of my neck. He just gives that and changes. "Is it?" And changes the subject. "I still need to get my ticket," he says, and goes to turn toward the door. "Oh wait, I got it here," I say, fumbling in my pocket for a second before finding the ticket and presenting it to him. "What the fuck? You paid for my ticket?" he says angrily. "Yes, I did," I say triumphantly. "I asked you to come, remember? So I pay." He gives me a cold stare. "Fine, but next time I'm paying." Snatching the ticket from my hand and turning towards our theater number. I stand there a split second before snapping out of it. "Next time," I say, catching up TP and walking beside him. Okay. Did I fucking stutter? He deadpans. I just stay silent as we walk into the theater. We walk in, and right away I see Mina waving to us from the very top row. They saved us 2 seats at the end, again with Bakuyo on the outside, then me, Mina, Denki, and lastly Zero. I say hello thanks to Mina because I know she's the one who defended our seats and sit down. Bakuyo's point of view. The previews had already started, and I take this time to sneak a peek at him when he's not looking. The bright neon lights from the ad on the screen light up Kirishima's features. I notice his jawline, the slight upturn of his nose, how his eyebrows move subconsciously as he thinks or reacts. And OMG, is that? It is. One little pointy tooth lays atop his bottom lip, escaping his mouth. I feel the heat rise to my face. Of all the things to make me blush, why that? I avert my eyes quickly, trying to shake off the red off my face, though I quickly realized it wasn't going to work, because I look away to his eyes. They sparkle with the ever-changing lights of the screen. I can read the excitement from them alone. It's not helping my blush by any means. He glances over and does a double take when he sees me staring. What? He asks quietly, as to not disturb others around us. Is there something on my face? He adds, reaching up and wiping his face. Nothing, I say, brushing it off and slumping back into my seat. He stares for a second, probably deciding to push further or not, then relaxes back in his seat, refocusing on the screen. As the previews came to a close, the announcement to silence your phones came on. Kirishima got visibly more tense and anxious. I thought back to the Waffle House when those extras had mentioned Kirishima's relationship with horror movies. Apparently, he didn't have a great track record with them. Very small time skip to the first interesting part of the movie. When the main girl starts to clean up the burnt food from earlier, her neighbor lady from before runs up and bangs on the door. Then an arrow enters her thigh. This made Kirishima jump slightly and grip the armrest more than he already was. Then the knife appeared, and I could hear a little no under his breath. The movie continued, but if I'm being honest, I was paying more attention to the red next to me than the screen. His reactions and him in general was better than the movie. At one part near the end, she's injured, bleeding out, going through different scenarios in her head. Many of those include her, how do I put it? Oh yeah, dying. With that, Kirishima moves up the armrest between us and grabs my hand in both of his. A wave of heat just slapped me in the face. He was so close. I built up my confidence in that split second and slowly intertwined my hand with one of his. I think this brought him out of his trance, looking down at our intertwined hands, then up at me. Oh, OMG, I'm so sorry, he stutters, quietly starting to remove his hand. Shut up, dumbass, just watch the movie. He looks at me for a second before turning his head back to the screen. Near the end, she's hiding in the bathroom, waiting for Mr. Murderman to walk through the door in front of her. When he gets in the tub behind her, Kirishima buries his head in my shoulder, near the crook of my neck, peeking glances at the screen sometimes. Bakugo X has stopped working. If I didn't break before, I definitely did this time. I just stopped breathing, and wasn't focused on just focused on the frightened ball of red on my shoulder. His hands holding mine in a death grip, his breath grazing my neck. I add my one free hand on top of Kirishima's and rub my thumb over his knuckles. I'm trying here. That's how he stayed for the remainder of the movie. The credits roll, and Kirishima is still lost on my shoulder. The pink fluff ball jumped up and went to talk to Kirishima when she saw what had unraveled during the movie. She quickly turns to the other two dunces and is fangirling, pointing to us every now and then. I gently move my shoulder to get his attention. Hey, shit hair, the movie's over. A muffled noise is all I get in response as he lifts his head. Come on, time to go. Heading out of the theater, I notice the extras are keeping a distance. I lean down and whisper to Kirishima, Wait, what's up with them? I nod toward the others. He gets red. They're probably just trying to give us space. I look at him confused. Space. Yeah, this was kind of a date. Unless you didn't think of it as one, then that's fine. I just wanted to hang out. It doesn't have to be like that. I cut him off by squeezing his hand that I never let go of. Calm down, fucker. He seems to let out a sigh of relief. We walk back to the coffee shop and I get an idea. You didn't drive your own car here, did you? No, why? I stop our walking. How about I take you home then? Before he can answer, Puffball interrupts. Why'd you guys stop walking? Bakugo's gonna take me home, he says with a smile, rubbing the back of his neck. Oh, really? She looks excited and surprised. Yeah, so what? I butt in. She just smiles with some goodbyes and nice to meet you, we part ways. Me and Kirishima walking back to my car, and the others walking back to theirs, I presume. I walk over to my black sheep. Here she is. I pat the hood of the car. Whoa, he seems to have stars in his eyes. This is so cool. It's yours? Yup, I say. I have to let go of his hand, and we go to our respective sides. How come I never see your car in the employee parking lot? He asks, shutting the door. I like to listen to music and walk to work, 'cause I don't live far from here. He lights up. What kind of music? He asks intrigued. All sorts. Maybe old school rock, mainly old school rock, some rap, and emo music. I use air quotes around the word emo, making him giggle. After that, we talk, and Kirishima directs me to his house. The drive didn't take long, and soon enough we were in front of his house. So, I had a lot of fun, he starts. I'm walking you to your door, idiot, I say, already getting out of the car. We walk up to his door and stop. Okay, now you can start your rambling speech. He just laughs. I had a lot of fun, and I'd love to get to know you and hang out more, he says with a beaming smile. I swear that you could see even in the darkest places. There's a small bit of silence, and he hesitantly grabs my hand, looking down at him slightly before we start to close the gap. Closer, closer, closer. Then it happened. He let go of my hand and places his hands on my waist, pulling toward my hips, pulling me in closer. Mine find a place hooked behind his neck. The kiss was tender and everything you would ever imagine. That fireworks? It's real. We separate, and he blushes bright red with the brightest smile plastered on his face. I did that. I caused that smile. So that's it for today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and look out for part 4. See you tomorrow.